Welcome to the final episode of our 2019 previews for Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. Here with Racer X, Jason Weigandt, Steve Matthes, Jason Thomas. We have David Pingree dispatched around this, the Pro Circuit shop, home of the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki race team and kind of the hub of all Supercross preseason activity here in Corona, California. We're going to talk 250 class here. I want to thank our sponsors, Monster Energy, Pro Taper, New Ray Toys, LS2 helmets, and 100%. We make one huge mistake every year as we preview the 250 class. Now, we don't know what coast the riders are going to race, so we're just throwing out names of who could be contenders. We don't know who will race whom. However, we do know that we usually forget one rider who ends up winning races and being a contender. So we're going to just get that out of the way, and we are not going to on Shane Mcilrath. We always on Shane.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Shane this year. Are you going to?
No, we do, though. He's got a point, JT. He's right. We don't talk about him enough.
I would argue that I've never Shane.
You have never?
I don't think I've ever Shane. I don't remember on Shane.
Have you ever on Shane?
I was partying in Temecula and things go weird down there, so.
Well, that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
He's not in that cool guy group. But Mcilrath has been very good. We'll show you the graphic here. Second in points, 2017. Third in points, 2018. It was really close both years. He might have even won in 17. He had a bike problem when he was leading the points. He's won 5 races. So we're just getting it out of the way. We're acknowledging that whatever coast he races, he's going to be really good.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. Shane Mcilrath, he's a veteran of this class now by now. And winning, I think, is a big deal. He knows he can win every single time. He's in shape. He's got the bike and the team and the package. I don't know if I'm saying, like, hey, he's a favorite for the championship, JT, but in absolutely no way would I be shocked if he comes away with the title.
I think you have to make him one of the front runners. 2 years ago, he had a mechanical issue that you could argue maybe he would have come away the champion that year. So to think he's not one of the favorites would be silly. Whether he wins it, we don't know. We've got a lot of guys to talk about and go through on here that could all walk away with this thing. But he will win races in 2019. I'm pretty confident of that.
Okay, we'll go to David Pingree, who we know is a huge fan. So, Pingree, are you going to on Shane?
Well, yes, I am going to bet on Shane. No, I am not going to shit on Shane Mcilrath. Listen, I'm a TLD guy through and through. I've kind of got skin in the game, being their old team manager there for a little while, so I'm just always going to pull for those guys. But I genuinely like Shane Mcilrath. There's a story about him coming out to test for those guys. When he flew to California to test ride their bike the first time, was the first time he'd ever been on an airplane. I mean, how do you not like a guy like that that's just that genuine and that down to earth? And he hasn't changed a bit. He's just an awesome guy. And as these guys mentioned, and he's a sleeper. He's been a title threat for the last couple years, but he's not really mentioned in those circles. So this year, I would love for these guys to chase down one of these 1W plates and get it done with Shane Mcilrath. And no shitting over here. I'm pulling for Shane Mcilrath. Back to you guys.
Okay, so Pingree's all in. We're all in now. We're not sleeping on him. Sleeping. I was saying sleeping. Right?
Yeah.
I was saying sleeping the whole time. I was
Absolutely.
saying sleeping.
Absolutely.
Our sponsors, Monster Energy, LS2 helmets, Pro Taper, New Ray Toys. They've got the team semis. They got motocross bikes. They got Nitro Circus stuff that's cool and 100% with their gloves, their goggles, their sunglasses. We thank all these companies for backing our shows this year. But we especially thank Pro Circuit for opening their doors to us all day so we could talk about Supercross 2019. And of course, you have to talk about some of their riders. Adam Mcilrath, everybody loves AC. I actually picked him to win the 250 West title last year. He ended up second. He missed it by a few points in the East the year before that. Could this finally be the year? I mean, I don't even want to get into the rookie season where he had the points lead halfway through and got hurt. Could this be the time for AC?
JT, we covered Eli Tomac. Balls fast, can't win the championship, win a lot of races.
Okay.
Kind of, Adam Mcilrath is a carbon copy of that in 250 class.
Well, I think Mitch Payton made a great point today when we were speaking with him that if Adam Mcilrath can come into the series with the momentum that he left last year's series, he's going to be tough to contend with. That's been the story with Adam, though. Consistency, staying healthy.
Dude, in practice, he just cartwheels.
Oh, the crashes have been epic.
does.
I mean, you're like, look at him. Oh, look at him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yeah, but to win, a 7-8 race series, you've got to have it every weekend. If you don't have it, you've got to be second, third, fourth. So that, I think, as Adam's gotten older, I think he understands the process. This will be his best opportunity to win, I believe, with the field he's up against. Zach Osborne moved out, Aaron Plessinger moved out. These guys have moved out of that series that we could just point to and say, hey, there's your favorite. So I think if any year, maybe this is the one. But we've got to think he's going to move up at some point. So maybe this could be his last chance.
We'll get to Marty, everybody. But Adam Mcilrath and Christian Craig, to me, are a couple of guys. Hey, listen, they're friends of mine, friends of all of ours. You guys got to get it done. You got to get it done.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Christian Craig just has to get back to winning races again. I mean, he hasn't
Yeah,
really
but by
been
getting it
close
done,
to
I
that.
just mean winning races and
Yeah.
like being right there.
You've had a lot of years, is what you're saying, these guys.
They're on great teams, they're
Okay.
on great
Yep.
bikes, they're veterans of this class.
Right.
They should be winning races.
And remember, Cincerillo missed the racing in the summer in Pro Motocross because he had ACL surgery, so he is coming back off an injury, although he started that recovery process in May, so he's had a lot of time.
Filmed a fantastic vlog, Finding Stu. AC did
Didn't watch it.
in the recovery, but yeah, that definitely helped him.
I think Dean Wilson's Grandpa Earl video is better.
Well, I don't.
Yeah. The teammate of Cincerillo, and now starting to get in that veteran type status. I know it's only really his third year in Supercross, but that's
Marty?
how quickly things turn around. No, that 13th. Austin Fourtner. The rookie season was okay. Maybe not as good as the ridiculous expectations where he thought he might win the title as a rookie. Last year, a big breakthrough. He won 2 races, battling with Osborne a bit for the title, started making the big mistakes. Can he get to that next level this year?
Breakthrough is right, JT. I didn't like the way he rode last year. His demeanor on the track, the way he reacted to some adversity on the track. I thought Fourtner, even though he won, I thought he took a step back a little bit and made me question if he can get one of these done.
Oh, I would disagree. I thought the speed he displayed, at no time last year did I question who the fastest guy on the track was.
I'm not
right?
saying that, yeah.
I think that is the most critical aspect of all of this. The rest of it, I think, will come with maturity and time.
We can work with speed.
We can, but he's also able to translate that speed into wins.
Right.
So I think he learned a lot last year. You can't win championships on the ground. You can't win championships getting hurt. So I think him being able to take that elite level talent, elite level speed, and I think this is a concept that all these guys have to learn is on your bad night, you can't throw it away and get last. You've got to get second. You've got to even fourth. That's okay. You can't have these DNFs in a short series, which these 250 guys are dealing with. You need those points, and at the end of the series, if you're the fastest guy and you don't have that horrific night, you end up with a championship.
Yeah, I like just the general rise he's on. Okay as a rookie, finally got those race wins. We've said before it's kind of hard to learn to win races and the title in the same year. He got the race win thing out of the way. But for sure, there's some emotional maturity that he's going to have to get. There were too many crazy incidents last year, indoors and out. He's got to take that out of the program. Now, one guy everybody's pumped on when they watch him ride, Dylan Ferrandis of that Monster Star Yamaha team. The riding style is beautiful. But as smooth and as calculated and as precise as he looks, dude, that guy has been hurt. And when he gets hurt bad. He looked great early in the East last year. Huge injuries, broke his jaw. I don't know. Is the die cast? Is he a guy that's not going to get through the whole series? Or is one of these years the one that it's finally going to happen for Ferrandis? Because the dude can ride.
He can really. Honestly, I told him this at Paris. I think he could win both titles next year. I think he could take an Aaron Plessinger and win both titles. Every time he lines up, he is super fast. And he's working with David Villeman, of course. He's an older guy, so he's a little more mature. He's a foreigner guy who's here sort of isolated in his bubble, like nothing else to do but work and train and try to get better at motocross and supercross. But yeah, JT, he just has to keep it together.
I would ask you this because I genuinely don't know the answer. Has he ever finished an entire series, start to finish, without an injury?
I don't know. The track record's not very good.
Right.
I think that first year in Supercross, which would have been 2017, I think he might have made it to the end, but he was still learning the ropes, so he wasn't a title contender.
But
GPs,
even in Europe. Yeah.
Right, I'm just saying
GPs
his
time and
career.
time again.
Yep, right.
Outdoors, he started late. Last year, he didn't make it to the end the year before. It's been a pattern. So it's something to watch. But man, can he ride. Another guy who, kind of like his teammate, Shane Mcilrath, maybe doesn't get the credit as a race winner, title contender, is Jordan Smith. Now, he's been in contention the last 2 years. He's won races the last 2 years in the East. Coulda, shoulda, woulda won the title, maybe, in 2017 in the East. So, Smitty, we'll see. And what I've heard is that KTM really wants to see something from him to maybe say, you could be our guy to move on to the 450 class soon, but they need that last piece. Can he put that together?
To me, JT, Jordan Smith and RJ Hampshire, the Geico team, buddies, of course, and they rode together, are like the same guy. RJ finally got a win last year. So
motocross,
motocross. So he's got that a little bit. I firmly believe you have to get that one to know what to do. He's got it. I think he'll step up a little bit. Jordan's already got a few wins, but they're almost interchangeable a little bit. They're in shape. They're nice guys. They probably should have better results for the amount of years they've had those good bikes under them. But at any time, I think that everybody from the Geico team to the TLD KTM team are waiting for that next step up.
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison you make. Remember, these guys graduated at the Monster Cup together. Crazy battle, crashing through the last lap together. And their careers have really kind of mirrored each other. And another comparison, they're often overshadowed by their competitors. Even though they're both great, RJ won a race last year. Jordan, if you were to freeze frame that race in Vegas from 2017 and said, okay, on this lap, who's going to win this title? All of us would have picked Jordan Smith with the crashes, first turn, all the things that have gone on. But I do think this is a critical year for both of them. They've got to step out of that shell and start winning consecutively. Or if they want to move up to those 450 rides, a la Joe Savacci, that's the next step for these guys. Can they do it? I don't know. We just went over a bunch of guys that are going to be in their way. But that's the task before them. They've got to separate themselves from the rest of the pack.
So we talk about the maturation process and these riders gaining experience. We have two riders in a completely different situation in the 250 class this year, two coming over from the GPs. We have Hunter Lawrence, the young Australian, who's part of the Geico Honda team now, and Thomas Covington, who's an American, but he started his pro career racing in Europe in the GPs. Now he's coming over at Rockstar Husqvarna. So I'm going to send it over to David Pingree. You getting any buzz on these newcomers to Supercross in the U.S.?
Oh, hey guys. Just catching up on my latest Racer X there. Listen, Thomas Covington. Haven't heard much about Hunter Lawrence, but Thomas Covington I'm intrigued by. This is a kid who's never raced professionally in the States. He took such a wild career path coming right out of amateur racing, heading over to Europe as really a no-namer and building a name for himself there. And typically the way guys come over here, they jump right into Supercross and they just start getting riddled with injuries because it's a meat grinder. Let's just face it, let's be real about it. So I'm really interested in the way he's done it. Gone over there and learned how to race, how to compete at a professional level, how to be a professional athlete. And then now that he's won some races over there and found some success, he's transitioning back to the US and gonna have a run at Supercross. So I talked to his mechanic and some folks over at Husky, and they're saying they're really impressed. They've never seen a guy go out and just be able to throw down as many laps as he does in a row. So his fitness is great. He's already kind of dialed in with training and how to go about attacking a training program, a boot camp program. They say the only thing that he's kind of still figuring out is the whoops. And listen, that's a common thing. That's a common theme with any rookie. It just takes a while to get those figured out and understand how to do those technically. So I think by the time the first round comes around, Thomas Covington is going to turn some heads. And if you know him at all, Big Air Tom is as cool as they come, and I'll be pulling for him for sure. I think he's going to have a great season. Back to you guys.
Okay, that's Pingree. I did hear the same thing from some of the Husky people. Covington's putting in a lot of laps, and I thought, well, big deal. They all put in a lot of laps. But they said the fact that he's not clipping things, casing things, and draining himself of energy and not making a lot of mistakes so he can do all these laps is at least a good sign. But we don't know with Covington. I thought the reason he went to Europe in the first place is because he didn't seem comfortable in Supercross when he came out of the amateur ranks in the U.S. So if he does well in Supercross, I will be a bit surprised because I thought it was a weakness. Maybe now that he's a few years older, maybe it's not.
Just Big Air Tom needs to just stay healthy, get ready for motocross. That's it.
It'll be interesting. Over the years, the guys that are the same age as him, for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months a year, they're riding Supercross. Mm-hmm. Tom's 0 months a year has been riding Supercross. Yeah. So they have several years of experience over him. I do agree with Steve. He needs to stay healthy because I don't think that Rockstar Husqvarna went out and signed him to race Supercross. I think they realized...
At least not the first year.
Right, but I think they realized the real chance for him to win and be a championship contender is once May gets here and we head to Hangtown. So, yes, if he can do great in Supercross and get on the podium, bonus. I think the real time for him to shine will be the summer. But as we know, for Dylan Ferrandis, as all these guys, that Supercross season can be treacherous and it can set you back for outdoors.
And Hunter Lawrence, I think we'll see some flashes. He'll learn the game a little bit. One thing about, I've been around him a little bit, he doesn't lack for confidence.
That's Australian. That's Australian.
Well, he reminds me of a guy number 103 on a Yamaha toy bike.
I just think that's their culture. They don't have a lot of fear of other guys. Like yeah, you'd be surprised. These guys have a lot of stuff. It's not cockiness, it's self-confidence. Okay. And I think that could really help him, to your point.
Hunter Lawrence has that, so that part is there. And again, he just has to kind of learn Supercross, and he'll be a force outdoors. We certainly saw him do that at some destinations.
He's a real cool kid, though. I think he's going to catch on and be pretty popular with the fans here in the U.S. once they get to know Hunter Lawrence. There's always a gigantic pack of 250 guys, especially when we consider they're broken up in East and West. We'll have a couple of East-West races again, like Feld brought that back last year to not just do it in Vegas. Right. So that'll be really fun when we get them all together.
I love the fact, oftentimes, the approaching NBA season or the approaching NFL season, we don't know which teams are going to be in which divisions. I love the fact that they don't let it really tell us until right before the game. Is Dallas in the NFC East or are they playing the NFC West? I mean, we don't. ever really know. So I just want to continue to thank the teams and the sponsors of the sport for not telling the fans and the media who's racing which coast. I think that's a great strategy. It's really cool to bench race and when you don't know who's racing, and just fantastic idea. So just keep that up, everybody. Super well professional. Really good job.
And I like how all the trainers talk about how to plan all these things out. You can't just build speed and endurance in 1 week. It takes time. Yeah. But we don't know if they'll be racing in the beginning of January or the middle of February. We don't know.
And one of the theories is if you know that you're doing East, you're going to slack off, and there could be an injury in the West, and you have to jump in, but you won't be ready. Despite being paid multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, apparently you don't take it seriously until March or whenever your East Coast comes. So again, just fantastic theories. I mean, it just gets in my craw. Let's say I don't know why these teams.
No one wants to be in their
specifically this team is the master of that. This circuit.
I think Mitch sets the pace, and he did it, and then everyone followed it because hey, Peyton does that, so he started it. But thanks for letting us film here, Pro Circuit. Thank you.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we got Pingree over here hanging out with the team. So Ping, are there any guys that stand out of this class? Some of the favorites, and then all these other riders. There's many we haven't even mentioned yet. Chase Sexton was very good last year. It was his first full season in Supercross. There's so many riders to talk about in this 250 class. Does anyone really stick out that you've heard about, Ping?
Thanks, guys. Just here hanging out with my Pro Circuit boys, doing some laps at the test track. It's no big deal. Listen, this 250 class, both coasts, as it always is, it's wide open. I'm a big fan of AC, Jordan Smith. I tell you, I hear really great things about Chase Sexton. As far as his technical ability, it's next level. Watching that kid ride, I think his potential for speed, we haven't even seen what he's capable of yet. So I'm really going to be watching him closely this year. There's a lot of kids though. You start talking about basically anybody on the pro circuit team. Garret Marchbanks, who is a rookie, but he's a big kid, and he's working with Ivan Tedesco on a regular basis. And Ivan says he's doing awesome. This kid's made a ton of progress since he started. Like a lot of rookies, still struggling with the whoops a little bit, but I think as a big kid, he's going to get those figured out, and that'll actually be a strength of his. So I'm anxious to see how he does with a whole season under his belt. But I would keep an eye on him. He's a talented kid, and he's going to do really well. RJ Hampshire is another super talented kid. I want to see how he does this year. That's what I love about the 250 class. It's just always wide open. You don't know until you get to the race and drop a gate, because what kind of preseason do they have? Do they have any injuries? How's their fitness? How's their bikes? There's so many factors that play into it. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch. We got guys like Thomas Covington coming back from Europe. We've got all kinds of rookie kids and the veterans of the class who are looking to win championships. So you throw them all together, it's going to be crazy. I don't even know who's riding what coast. Doesn't matter. It's going to be fun to watch. I'll see you there. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Okay, there's Ping. He likes AC. He's heard great things about Chase Sexton. Sexton has all the tools, man, except the starts. They're getting better. I don't know if they're great. He even told me that maybe the goal is to just try to start top 5 and work from there, which has been proven to get it done. But Sexton could have a breakthrough year. What about your guy, Amart? What about your guy, Alex Martin?
Listen, honestly, let's talk about a champion. Let's talk about a hero, an idol, a role model in the sport. Alex Martin, JGR Suzuki now this year, of course. Mitch Payton and I just finished, before we hit record here, debating the merits of hiring Alex Martin or not.
You tried to be his agent, basically.
I did. I really did.
Circuit, yes.
I really did. But no, listen, all new Suzuki RMZ 250. JT, you wrote it.
Yep.
I think it's a step up for the JGR team to get somebody like Amart. He is going to be 100% ready, 100% professional about it, and I think he's a great hire. Now, will he win a championship? Probably not. But hey, could he get a Supercross win this year?
I think he could. Yeah. He's going to need to get the start. It's not going to be, I'm going to start 10th and move to the front and win a race. But I think he falls into a category of a lot of guys. Colt Nichols, Sexton, as you mentioned, Amart. There's a lot of guys that on the right night, on the right circumstances, they get the start, they're feeling it. Yeah, you're not going to be shocked that they get a race. I think that's the most fun about the 250 class is we go into the race, we don't know who's going to win. There's 10 guys that could win the race. And I think that's going to be more prevalent than ever. We lost Osborne, we lost Plessinger, we lost the 2 champions, which opens the door. Because as we know, going into Anaheim on Saturday morning, let's say for the West Coast, there will be, I'm going to say 6 guys minimum that all think this is their year. That's fun. When everybody thinks this is their year to win, you get a lot of chaos and you get a lot of excitement. So I'm looking forward to that.
All aboard the troll train.
I know one man who thinks this could be the year. You've supported him for a long time, Steve. You believed in him for a long time.
Yeah.
He will be riding for this Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team.
I mean,
Martin Davalos.
if there's ever a year for Marty, I just feel like everything's lining up this year.
Great
no,
team.
wait. No, it's not. It's not lining up for him. It's not going to happen. Marty is fast as crap. He can win heat races, he can set fast times, but folks, nothing seems to be able to ever happen for Marty to consistently pull it together, whether it's visa issues or injuries or whatever it is.
Many of which are not even his fault. Weirdo stuff happens. That's your anvil theory. The anvil falls on him.
The anvil
like
falling on
yes.
him. He is the coyote trying to get the roadrunner.
Yeah.
And it always happens to Marty Davalos. Certainly, Mitch Payton told us he's healthy, he's ready to go,
Yeah.
he can win races. I just think a couple years ago, this man from Ecuador stepped up into the 450 class in motocross, the world's toughest series, and gutted out some podiums. He's terrific on the Rockstar Husky team.
He was good. Yep.
And it proved my point to the world. Marty moved to 450s. It's just...
He doesn't have an opportunity. What are you supposed to do? He's got Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki saying here's a ride in a 250, and no one else saying here's a ride in a 450. I don't know what you want these guys to
Should
do.
have tried harder to do it. We saw his skills on a 450.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, honestly, when it comes to 2019, and Marty Davalos, he'll win heat races, he'll set fast times, he may win a couple main events. He's not going to win the championship.
It's a fair take. You haven't been proven wrong yet.
Thank you.
But I don't see a problem with Mitch Payton deciding to put him on his bike. Let's look at the obvious here. He's going to win heat races. He's going to be very, very fast. That's a big part of what racing's about, getting your sponsors on TV, getting to the front of the pack. To think he's not going to win a main event, I think would be foolish. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but when you have a guy that's that fast and gets that good of starts, he's putting himself in position to succeed. So I don't blame Mitch for 1 second for putting him back on the bike.
I would have gone with somebody like Alex Martin myself, but
Or Phil.
or Phil.
Yep.
Yeah. Or Canary.
Right. This is
Somebody.
why we're doing videos.
I'm just saying.
That's why we're doing videos, and Mitch Payton is
types
here
of guys.
with multiple championships
Yeah,
of
look at
all
these
these
bikes.
motorcycles behind us.
These bikes.
Yeah.
Lot of titles here. So it's going to be awesome, the 250 class, a couple of those East-West.
Yep.
The Vegas races have just been nuts the last few years now that the title is back on the line while the two coasts meet up. So no matter what happens in the 450s, buy your tickets to Vegas now because you know at least one of those 250 championships is going to be up for grabs.
Give me more of these East-West races. We used to do
loved it.
2, 3
Yeah.
in a year. Give me more of them. We got one extra one the last couple of years besides
Yeah.
Vegas. Give me more of these. These things are great. Don't listen to the teams that bitch and moan about, oh, we're in our own points chase. Screw you, teams. We want to see excitement. We want to see accident. We want to see action, and that's what these races do for us. So great job. Let's give us more.
We had one in Indy last year. That was the first of the non-Vegas East-West race in a while. Do you remember who the winner was? Jeremy Martin, who was on a really strong roll at mid-season,
That's
winning
where it
some
started.
Supercross races.
That's where the roll started.
Yeah, the roll started there.
I just remember my net saved a life.
Okay. In Indy?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember bagging in a net at
Rockstar
Tampa.
Husky. Right.
Okay.
Moseman? Harrison? Someone went right into the net and took it down. The net saved it.
Well, we need to pour one out for Jeremy Martin. We believe he will probably not be racing Supercross this year. Huge injuries suffered at the Muddy Creek National Motocross last year. He's still not on a bike. I suppose there's time for him to race East. I don't think it's very likely, so we probably won't see Martin, who was a race winner last year, in the races. So that's just to keep tabs on what's happening
Sleeper
there.
pick. Colt Nichols.
Yeah, I mentioned Colt Nichols. That's a guy. He started the series in second place out of nowhere. None of us really expected that. I'm interested to see. I think Fourtner is going to.
He can't be a sleeper pick.
I think he's going to take the next step, though. I think we all obviously think he's going to be a contender, but I think he's going to be more dominant than any of us expect.
Sleeper pick.
I'm going to go with RJ Hampshire as my sleeper pick. Your rules of sleeper change a lot, so I never know.
Yeah,
Is he
it's a
allowed to be a
moving
sleeper?
target. They do.
Okay.
It's
All right.
not really.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fourtner, RJ, your sleeper.
Sleeper.
Who's your championship guy? Either coast or whatever.
I think Cincerillo can get a title.
Yep.
And Mcilrath can get a title, so I got to hope they race opposite coasts.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, going into the class, look, Adam, you're a friend of mine. We filmed the vlog together that everybody loved. We should talk to each other constantly on text. I love it. You're going to be my monster for 2019. But if you don't get it done, like Tomac, I'm done with you.
It's been a lot of predictions of hype, a lot of hype through the years, and still no title. So we'll
He's
see.
got to get it done.
No, he does. There's no doubt.
He is blazing fast.
Yes.
Yep, no doubt.
Look, his first Supercross season was 2014.
And he
he
won
missed
that
a lot
race.
of time. He did, but it's been There's been a lot of years.
Yeah.
Just simply
Yeah.
the calendar says he's had.
He's also
opportunities.
6'3", 200 at this point. Like,
No.
I'm joking, but I'm saying he's a big guy.
Just like Plessinger, he's going to come into his own on the 450.
Wait till he gets on the
Really,
450.
once
This
he's
250,
huge,
the
yes.
250 class he's outgrowing this class literally every
Yes.
year. So he's got to get it done soon. And yeah, so
So do we give East-West championship predictions? Are we going?
I can't because I don't know who's racing what.
Who knows
I
what
think
coach
the
they're racing
champions,
in?
they might
Who knows
race
where the
against each other,
Cowboys are
yeah.
playing? Who knows where the Eagles are playing? Nobody knows.
Okay.
Nobody knows what class we're going to get in. So
All
who
right,
knows?
please just don't get into Marty again. Please just don't get into Marty again.
Go Marty.
This has been awesome that Pro Circuit was able to host us. We want to thank Monster Energy, our title sponsor for the shows this year, and also the title sponsor for Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship for helping put this all together for us. Want to thank Pro Taper, New Ray Toys, LS2 helmets, and 100% with their goggles, gloves, and sunglasses. Jason Thomas, Steve Matthes, Jason Weigandt. We had David Pingree doing a lot of tour work, showing you the inner workings of Pro Circuit, so that was cool. Hope you enjoyed the shows this year. We will see you in Anaheim. Here is the schedule. Of course, it all starts at Anaheim. It ends in Vegas. We've got 2 new venues going to Denver and Nashville. We're returning to New Jersey and Detroit after skipping those in 2017, and a lot of great familiar stops in between those. Go to supercrosslive.com for all the information on this. Can't wait to go racing in 2019.